Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to All Things Apple Special Interest Group tonight. Brookie's on leave tonight, so Kurt and I will be doing the presentation. I'm going to be talking about emergency SOS. You all may recall last February we had a pretty significant outage of AT&T and some of the other networks. If you had an emergency, what would you do? And the other thing I'm going to talk about is uh, you get a PDF in your phone. There's a way to sign it right on your phone without having to print it out and then sign it and scan it and then send it back to whoever. So I'm going to be talking about that. And then Kurt's going to follow up talking about Safari with bookmarks, folders, and how to organize those, which is always a challenge in whatever you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, in February, AT&T and other providers went down, and they were down for several hours. And if you had an emergency in those areas, what would you do? So I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit. And one of the things that you can do is I'm going to show you a screenshot. When you prepare your phone to turn it off, most of you know you hold the side button and the volume button and squeeze until you get a screen that looks like this. Once you get this screen, there's several things you can do here. Of course, turn it off. You can access your medical ID, or you can make an emergency SOS call. Now, the thing about this is this, if you're hitting on this and your cellular service is out, this goes via satellite up into the sky somewhere. And so your emergency call will still go through. So this is really an important thing to remember. If you want to push your side button and your volume button now, you can do that, but just don't hit anything except the cancel. So any questions on that? It's really basically very simple and go right to it. The other thing I'd like to mention while I'm here is the medical ID. I'm just going to touch on that briefly since it popped up here. If on my phone, if I go to my medical ID for the health app, which is this little thing right here, I'll tap on it and you'll get some gibberish here, helpful hints, if you will. But up in the top right, you'll see your profile, maybe initials, maybe your picture, or anyway, that's called the profile. And you click on that and you'll get this screen. And if you have not done this, I highly recommend that you do it. It's got your health details. I'm going to touch on this. Mine's somewhat fraudulent because I do this with it. But I've got my name, birthday, sex, blood type. That can be very important. And then some other information down here, medications that might affect your heart rate. So I'm going to go back one here and go then to my medical ID. And here it tells you I'm an organ donor, medical conditions. I haven't filled out only appropriate ones right now. You can keep track of all your medical notes in here. There's places in here you can list all your medications. You go to the doctor's office and he says, well, are you still taking some strange name that you can't remember? If you got it on your phone, you can put it right here. Blood type, height and weight. Another thing that's particularly important is your emergency contacts. So that's in there. And again, the thing about this is that is particularly important. You're walking down the street and maybe you fall down or hurt yourself, and nobody around you knows who you are, what you're doing. But if you've got your phone, emergency technicians can get into your phone and access this medical information. They can't get into anything else, but they can get in here. They can know all your vitals, like blood type or things that you're allergic to, so stuff like that. So anyway, let me go back here. It's this one right here, the health app. All you got to do is type it and start, or tap it and start typing in your information. Again, if you fall down, the medical guy can pick up your phone. And of course, he can't get in because he doesn't know your password and he doesn't have the right face. But he has a way, once he tries to get into it, it'll pop up. It says emergency information. And then he can get into this information. Anyway, it's a real good thing to do. I would certainly encourage you to do it. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to sign a PDF in your phone. And I hope this works. So somebody sends you a PDF in your phone and you open it up. So I'm going to do that right now and see if I can find one here. Okay, here's one down here. It's a PDF. It's called Risk. That just happened to be the name of it. So I'm going to tap on that. And here's the PDF. And the first thing I'm going to do is press on that. And you notice the PDF actually showed up there. I'm going to get rid of that right now. So here's the PDF. And you go down here. And if you've been in some of our classes or listened in on some of our events, you know that this is the markup tool. So I'm going to tap on the markup tool. And then over here is a plus sign. I'm going to tap on the plus sign. And it says add signature. I'm going to tap on add signature. And you notice I've already set up 3 of them here, just playing around. And you can add or remove a signature. If you wanted to remove one, you would tap on this. And then I'll just get rid of this one because it's not very pretty. And delete it. And then I'll say done. And now, where'd it go? I'm back to my markup tool here again. So I'm going to tap on it and the plus sign, add signature, and then I'm going to say, choose this one. And you notice it doesn't know where to put it, so it puts it right in the dead center, but you can pick it up and move it down, and you can make it bigger or smaller to fit your page. And then once you finish that, up at the top of the screen, it'll say done. And then you'll get a screen like this where I can, Joe, I sent that to myself. So it says reply to Joe or create a new message or save it to your files. If I hit reply to Joe, this signed PDF goes right back to him, and we're basically done. And I will put in the chat room in a few minutes here, probably when Kurt starts talking on the steps to do this. But I've been using this a lot. We get a lot of documents from Ollie that they want to know if you're alive and well and your doctor says you're okay, and et cetera, and you'll follow their rules and regulations. So they send us all these documents. And I did. I used to print them all out and sign them and scan them and send them back. But now I can do it right on my phone. So that's a real helpful hint. So any questions on that?
I do. If you I noticed there was a place for a date. And I noticed there was a list. I didn't see all the things. Can you add the date and stuff as well?
No,
So
that's
what do you do
not,
about that part?
I don't think
Mhm.
there's any, I didn't,
I thought
not that I, not
there
that
was a,
I'm aware, it's just signature. Well,
it looked like there
actually,
was a list of things. That was why I was curious.
if you were in the markup, you could add a text box in the
Oh,
markup tool. You could add a text box and then put the date in there and then change the font and size, whatever you want, and then slide it down into the date block.
okay. So by just changing the size of the box,
Yeah,
will it
you
shrink the
you
font?
drag the corners and it'll make it bigger or smaller.
Okay.
So anyway, thanks for that thought because I hadn't even thought about that, but I will include it next time.
Okay.
How did
All
you
right.
save your signature? Because you
Pardon?
went somewhere where your signatures were already saved. How did you do that part?
Okay, when we went to the markup screen, the little markup
Right.
screen, and then we tapped on the plus sign, and then it says add signature. And once you tap on that, it gives you the option of using ones you've already saved or to create new ones.
So you could just take
Thank you.
your signature and then use that photograph.
Use what photograph?
Well, I said you could sign a piece of paper.
Oh,
with
yeah.
no anything, and then just take a photo of that.
As long as you can access the markup tool. You can access the markup tool in your photographs too. If you had a photograph and you wanted to put identify your cell phone there, you could go to the markup tool and use that.
Okay. I've seen that before and didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
wait a
Anyway,
minute. That's only on PDFs, or is that other places as well?
it's on PDFs. What I've done here tonight is on PDFs. I've
Okay.
done a little research on Word documents, and I've found several places where they say you can do it by following these steps, and they don't work so far.
Okay.
I'm going to keep pursuing it because I would like to be able to sign Word documents also.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
this is Pat. I have a suggestion, like where you went into signatures, you could also put a date in there on another line. And when you have to put a date on that PDF document, you could just go back into signatures and move the date that you created and put it in there.
Good thought. Okay. Have you done that or you're just guessing?
I'm just guessing, but I mean, it should work because you're taking
I agree. It
the
should.
same information. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give that a try too. Y'all are giving me homework.
Well, I would suspect that what it's going to do with the date would be to show you a calendar and you could pick the date.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows? That seems like an Apple way of doing things anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else before I switch it over to Kurt? Okay. Now, once I switch this over to Kurt, I'm going to put a handout in the chat box. Kurt, it's all yours.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Turn it over to you.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, you can do the same PDF thing on the Mac. It's kind of an Apple thing, and they open up all their stuff. You can do it on the iPad too. Let me share my screen with you first here real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
This is an Amazon web page, and I'm using Safari with this, which we're going to talk about. But I wanted to show you this book. I just finished the audiobook version of it, and it is really an interesting book. It's about George Remus, who was one of the king of the bootleggers during Prohibition. He lived in Cincinnati, which I'd never heard any of this. And the book is just filled with stuff. He would come to Kentucky all the time, Newport, Covington, Hamilton, Ohio. And if you're looking for a good book to read, this is really a good one. The Lexington Library has 3 paper copies, but you can also get an ebook version or an audiobook version like I did. It really tells you what it was like during Prohibition in the 20s. and it's a fascinating book. He was so wealthy, he and his wife had an indoor pool in their house in Eden Park, a ritzy neighborhood in Cincinnati. It cost more than $100,000. And he would have parties there. He would give the men who came jewelry, like stick pins with diamonds in them. He gave every woman who came to his party a new Pontiac.
Wow.
So if you're interested, he got into this because of pharmacy. He was a pharmacist, and he realized that pharmacists got the scripts that allowed them to prescribe alcohol, which was mainly bogus back then. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. But anyway, moving back, this is Safari. Well, what the heck is this? If you never do anything with Safari, if you don't change any settings on a Mac or an iPhone or an iPad, this is what it looks like. These are sites that I have visited. This is the favorites page, and these are actually sites. So if I click on miscellaneous, these are all the websites that I've bookmarked. Well, I don't use this much because how in the world? I mean, I always like to think I'm organized, but how would I find a bookmark? You understand what I'm saying? Unless I recognize the icon. Like I recognize this one, the animal rescue site, which I try to click on all the time to give money to. If you click here, Humane Societies get free, oh, they want me to get rid of my ad blocker, free food and stuff for animals, so I always try to go there. But otherwise, this is crazy. Look at this. How in the world would I ever, well, I don't use this, but this is the default. Here's what you can do. If you've got Safari open, oh, I suppose I can close this now. If you've got Safari open, you can go up to settings, and this is running the latest Mac operating system, so they call it settings. They used to call it preferences. Click on general, and this is where you can change what Safari opens to when you first open it, your home page. Well, if I wanted to go to this page, for example, I would change this. Safari opens with a new window, a new private window, a window, all windows from last session, non-private windows, I don't care about that. New Windows opens with a start page. I want to choose home page. And I probably don't want this page. I'm going to throw in something else. Hello. Oh, I don't know. What should I put in there? CKCS. Okay. I'm going to quit this. I'm going to quit Safari. I'm going to reopen Safari. Maybe. Come on, there you go. And it opens to the CKCS website because it's my new home page. I switched it. And all I did was click on Safari in the menu bar, come down to settings, and click on general, and the horizontal icons, and here it is right here where I switched it over. And you can change it to anything you want. I just prefer to have a home page, if you know what I mean. All a home page is the page you go to when you open a web browser. But you can change this to anything you want. RefDesk is a popular page. It's just cluttered, filled with all kinds of information. Links. It's like a reference desk at a library. There's RefDesk. You can read about Trembling Madness. Got all kinds of stuff in here. And I just did that by going up to Safari, coming down to settings or preferences, and clicking on general and switching in here. Something else a lot of people don't really know much about is how to organize Safari. It's because nobody ever shows them. And how do you keep all these bookmarks? Well, how do you bookmark something? Well, at the top of Safari, you have what's called the address bar. I call it the location bar. It actually goes by both names. You can do a command, hold down the command key on a Mac, and hold down the L key for location on your keyboard, and that will automatically highlight it. And then you can type in wherever you want to go. Hit return or enter, and it takes you to that page. So again, you do Command L. Where do I want to go? Okay, the Louisville weather site that covers Lexington. All kinds of stuff. More stuff than you can shake a stick at. But that's just by holding down the command key or hitting the L. Or if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can tap with your finger or a stylus up on the location bar at the top and do the same thing. But on a Mac, I always do Command L and type in whatever I want up here to go to that page automatically. Here is where we get into bookmarks. Let me bookmark this page. I'm going to go up to bookmarks. I'm going to come down to add bookmark. This is pretty good. Most pages are notorious for having these long, drawn-out titles, which I don't want. I'm going to add this, though, and when you add it, you have to decide where you want to put it. That initial page I went to with all that icon, all those icons where I can't find anything, that's called favorites. Well, do I want to put it in bookmarks? Let's say bookmarks. Put it in bookmarks right there, say add. And if you go to the top of Safari, up here on the menu bar, this is called bookmarks. This goes back to the old way of doing it with Netscape. This is vertical, and it's right there. I just added it. But if you choose bookmarks, it does it the old Netscape way, and it's vertical. So when you choose a page you want to bookmark with Safari, you can make it vertical, or you can make it horizontal. Let me turn on my page here, favorites bar. Okay, here's horizontal. These are bookmarks that I have in there already. So once again, I'm going to bookmark another page. Let me go to, oh geez. That's the Herald Leader page. Okay, I want to bookmark this. No, thank you. I don't need breaking news. I'm going to go up to bookmarks. I'm going to come down to add bookmark. And see, this is horrible. Look at this. It goes on forever and I can't bookmark. It's too long. So I'm going to put Kentucky.com there. Now, if I say add this page to bookmarks and add, it's going to put it up here vertically. That's what you want to, if that's how you want to say bookmarks, that's fine. Add. Go up to click on bookmarks. There it is. And every time I go to my bookmarks, I can click up here and choose a location down here. Well, as everybody knows, bookmarks accrue pretty easily, and you become overwhelmed by bookmarks. There are too many of them. So I generally put them in here. I've created folders in here. You can also put folders up here. Well, let me go to a different page. It's 18. Okay, bookmark. Add bookmark. Once again, if I choose bookmarks, it'll go up here, but this is horrible. There, that's better. I'm not going to choose bookmarks. I'm going to choose favorites. I'm going to say add. It puts it up here on your bar, on your menu bar up here. It's right up here. And if you want to get rid of it, right click and delete. Well, supposedly delete. There we go. So you can populate this just with individual bookmarks. The trouble is, it's going to fill up too quickly up here. Bookmarks, add bookmark. Once again, all this junk, I don't care about that. I'm going to say favorites. Okay, it adds it right up here, but if you do that a lot, you're going to run out of space real quickly. So right click or control click, delete. Okay. Instead of doing that, I'm going to, okay, I'm going to bookmark this one, go up to bookmarks, add bookmark. This time, I'm going to click on favorites, and I'm going to put it in news, which I've created a folder called news and weather. I'm going to click on that, and I don't need all this junk. I'm going to say, highlight it all and just type. You see why I'm doing that while I'm shortening the title? They put in, the New York Times, blah, blah, blah. I don't need all that stuff. So I'm just going to add it to my news and weather folder. So it didn't go up here, and it didn't go up here vertically because I didn't choose bookmarks. It's up here. So I can click on this little arrow, this triangle, and do you think I have too much junk in here maybe? If I go down the very bottom, it puts it at the bottom. So it did bookmark it in there. But most people, or a lot of people, don't have bookmarks up here. To create bookmarks, you click on this little icon right here, and you open what's called a sidebar. Here's your sidebar. And I'm going to go up here, and you have like, here's your, close your sidebar, you click on that, you open it again, and you can click up here, new empty tab group, new group with this tab. I don't want to do any of that stuff. But I'm going to go to my bookmarks here. I'm going to click on bookmarks down here at the bottom. Did you see how I did that? The bookmarks are down here and I just clicked on them. So it shows me my bookmarks up here. And I'm going to, so you have to go up to your bookmarks. This on your sidebar is the same as the vertical view. And I'm going to say, add bookmark folder. And it's already untitled. It's ready for me to type in something. I'm going to type in animals, not the rock group. Am I dating myself when I do that? That's a 60s group. Okay. I'm going to click off of that. I'm going to hit return. Okay. And it already put it up here for me. So if I go to a website about animals, I hope I don't go to anything here that you shouldn't be saying. Let's go to Pet Finder. Okay, we're going to bookmark this. Add bookmark and see, this doesn't even, it's clear down here, all this junk. I'm going to just type Pet Finder. And I want to put it in animals. So I'm going to click my little tab up here at the top, switch it to animals, and say add. And let's go up here and see if it's there. It's right there. And I can move these around too. These are folders that I can move around if I want. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now I will go all over this once again in German. Okay, maybe not. I'm joking. Anybody have any questions? Oh, you're okay. Goodness. Speaking of your pet finder, I have a little cat here who's making sounds. I think she wants me to get off the computer. What do you think? But you can do this on your iPad and your iPhone too if you're using Safari. Typically, I use Firefox more than any other browser. That's what I've used for many years. If you have a really old iPad or a really old iPhone or an old Mac, Firefox tends to be more responsive. I mean, it's quicker. Safari is pretty slow. And if you do banking, you don't want to do banking using Safari on one of those old devices. You want to use a newer browser because Apple quits producing new versions of Safari after a while. Should I start the German part of it now?
Okay. Question came up a while ago about changing the background. When you're looking at the window with your picture on it, up in the top right hand is a 3 dots, and you can click on the 3 dots, and down there, well, that's interesting. A little while ago, it said change your virtual background. Now it's saying something else.
On the 3 dots,
Yeah.
mine says choose virtual black background, choose video filter,
Mm-hmm.
choose avatar.
Maybe you have to do it on your own.
Huh.
Yeah, if I do it on my own, I get that option. If I do it on somebody else's. So anyway, so you could tap on that and change your virtual background.
I changed it, but then I couldn't get rid of the little drop down that had several pictures on it that I picked from. I couldn't find any way to get that thing to disappear.
Did you try hitting escape? Oh, you're on your pad or your phone.
I'm on my iPad.
I don't know.
I know there's a way on the iPad because I've used it in Zoom before, but I don't remember where that is, Sue.
I've done it before too, but I couldn't. And I was punching buttons and punched my way out. And I had to get it.
It'll come back to you.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, it'll probably come back.
Okay, everybody, I would like to remind you that if you go over to the chat, you'll find a handout from Kurt and a handout from me. And if you want to download those for future reference, you can do that. So just go down to where it says chat and go from there.
Joe,
And
can I ask Kurt a question?
Yes.
I use Firefox sometimes too, and I've noticed if I'm streaming something like a video conference call or something, it does not play nice with some
really,
of those. I can't. It's have a real buffing time on it, you know.
really.
And I don't know why, but I can go over to Google and it boom. It's just. I wondered, is there a reason for that? Because I've been using Firefox for
Yeah.
years.
Is it a newer version of Firefox? It's the newest version.
I wouldn't know. No, probably not.
It may be that. I know you can go to the app stores for the iPhone and the iPad and to the website for the Mac and Windows PCs and just download Firefox from there to they continually update that browser. It's
Oh.
updated like every week.
Oh, wow.
And they're
I've never done that.
on the desktop and the laptop versions, they're up to well over 100 something version. And on the iPad and the iPhone, I use it daily on the iPad, and they're probably up to, I don't remember, but they're well up there because they're constant. And for those, you update it through the App Store. You can go open up the App Store and see if there's an update icon if they don't automatically update next to Firefox. But on the Mac and the Windows PC, you can just go to the name of the program and update it that way. Pull down in the menu bar, click on Firefox, and it will automatically update it. But that's my hunch. I wouldn't swear to it, and I know all browsers are different. I use Firefox all the time streaming TV shows, and it works really well for that. For whatever source, whether it's Masterpiece Streaming, whether it's Amazon Prime Video, Acorn TV, it works well on all those. So I know a lot of it.
I'll have to figure out how to do that because I do not know how to go to the App Store on my desktop.
Okay. Well, on your desktop, you can't get it through like the Microsoft Store or the Mac Store. You've got to go to the website. You've got to go to Mozilla, www.mozilla. It's M as in mother, O, Z as in zebra, ILLA .com.
Okay.
Or even .org. And that's their page. And somewhere on that page, it will say download Firefox. There's a button. And you don't have to tell them what version you want, like for Mac or Windows. It's right there on the page when you download it. it knows what your machine runs.
Okay.
And if it's really old, that may be what you need to do to get it to work right.
Okay.
But I really like that browser. So if you can't get it to work or if it doesn't work, let me know. Shoot me an email and
Okay.
I'll see if I can help.
Okay.
I'll send
Thank
the
you very
Joe.
much.